Wait, no, bandwagon, don't go yet. Hey everyone, welcome to Mini Paint Stop. I'm Liz, I paint minis, and you're welcome to stop by my channel for a bit. Today, I'm about 3 months late to the Trench Crusade mini plastic kit release for the Prussian Stosstruppen. The kit has 8 minis in it, 3 Stosstruppen, 3 Yeomen, a Hauptmann, and a Feldkaplan. I managed to get these just after Christmas when I saw them in my friendly local game shop. The box just has the sprues and the bases in it. The instructions are available online as part of a big PDF with all the details of the Stosstruppen. I'll be honest, I did have some difficulty fully understanding the instructions, but I think it's more me not fully reading the instructions, rather than how the instructions themselves were designed. The main issue I really had was that some of the parts on the sprue were really far apart. You can kind of see here that the wings aren't really next to each other. One of them also has this little bit of tape on it. Never figured out what that was about. So, got my supplies ready? Time to start assembling. There are some fun little details on these models, like this dead demon head on the base, which the Hauptmann is standing on. As usual, I've kept a few parts separate to make it easier to paint. I did also decide to do a little bit of kit bashing. Not something I'm particularly known for. I took one of the Stosstruppen, that should have a short cape and a flamer, and gave him the long cape and the flamer. And to make it all fit, I had to snip off the shoulder pauldron. Quick spray and it's time to paint. For those of you who haven't heard yet, Trench Crusade is a skirmish-style wargame in a grimdark setting. It's an alternate take on history with a lot of heaven versus hell themes. I have not played it yet, but once I've painted these I'll have to give it a go. I tried to find some inspiration online for historical Prussian uniforms, but there seemed to be a lot of them, from all kinds of different time periods. So I've just gone with one of them that was a royal navy blue colour, with some red and yellow elements on the sleeves and such. I'm also using a bright silver for the metallic parts, and I'll use a darker silver later. Of course, this colour choice is where it all went horribly wrong, because I chose yellow, which is notoriously difficult to work with. It's the sort of colour that refuses to stick to a model properly. It's got poor opacity and terrible flow, so I tried doing the first layer of this coat in orange to give it a better base to build off of, but it was only moderately effective in this instance. I did try putting a few layers on, but then the yellow just wanted to flow into the crevices, which sucked because the blue and the red worked pretty well for those first few layers. I didn't need to worry about them at all. In the end, I actually found a video, made just before I started painting actually, by Lila Mev, where she talks about dry brushing and how to sort of stipple with a dry brush. So I'll link that video in the description below if you're interested in learning that technique. Basically how it works is quite similar to normal dry brushing. You take a dry brush, you dip it in your paint, and then wipe the excess away, but instead of using sweeping or circular motions, you dab it with the brush. It works really nicely on these large coats. It gives a really interesting effect, because it looks like it's textured like fabric, rather than just one block of colour, because some of the base colour, in this case orange, actually shows through a little bit. I'm definitely going to use this technique in future for similar awkward colours. It's quite hard to dry brush yellow onto these little ribbons, but since they're fairly small, it was actually quite easy to get the yellow on just normally painting them. Most of the rest of the painting was fairly smooth actually. I did notice that when I painted the jackets and the trousers in the same navy blue, that they kind of merged together in just a solid lump rather than looking like distinct pieces of clothing. To fix this, I did a bit of edge highlighting on the jacket to give it a bit more definition. The colour is a turquoise blue mixed with the navy blue, which I also used for some of the pockets and bags these dudes have. As for the rest of the paint job, I added a wash of some strong tone to define the bright silver on this guy. As well as bronze details, including these eagle symbols on the Stosstruppen. I think they're actually supposed to have metal chest plates on, but too late now. Now, let's make these people look like people. I've got a few fleshy colours that I'm using, all of them from the War Paints Fanatics range. I started them all in a fairly dark warm tone that I'm going to highlight up. I do use the term dark here fairly loosely, I definitely have darker skin tones. While I have quite a few different shades available, it's often useful to mix them together to make new ones. Here's a darker brown, mixed with a cool pale pink. And while we're doing the skin tones, let's also do the hair. Don't forget to tidy up the edges. And then here's me trying to get the Hauptmann's face looking good. Little dot of white for the eyes, dot of black for the pupil. Good faces still elude me, but I tried my best with the Hauptmann. I think she came out okay. Time for my Chekhov's flamethrower. This is me finally sticking the kit bash I did earlier together. I don't know if you can clearly see, but the actual tank is stuck to the bag. Couple of little details left. I've painted this fur in blue, which is definitely a natural colour to have, and I'm dabbing on a much lighter blue for a simple fur effect. And now time to get back to basics! The sandbags on this base are getting a sandy colour, as the name suggests. And the rest of the bases are just going to be a dark brown muddy colour. I did consider doing some more details on the bases, aside from just painting the sculpted bits, but my easiest texture paint is a light brown that would need several coats to match the rest, so maybe next time. And I always make sure to match my base rims to one of the major colours of the model, in this case, navy blue. And here they all are. Oh, it feels like it took forever to sort these, but honestly, a lot of that was just worrying about the yellow and then just trying to get all the details right. Overall, I'm really happy with how these guys came out, especially for such a simple colour scheme. Thank you all for watching this video. let me know what you thought. Feel free to leave a comment or a like, and if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. In the meantime, I suppose I better go see what games my local shop is running.